Today we are going to be starting ratio tables, filling in the blanks that they do not give us. If you do not have out worksheet number 2, you should have that out right now in front of you. It should say right below your name, worksheet 2. And it should look like this. So what they're giving us is ratio tables that have blank places. Now, some of these can be kind of tough. That's why I wanted to make sure that I at least went over the first one with you, and then you'll be able to try one on your own. All right, so when we look at this, we've got a 2 and a 4, and then an 8 here, and a 6 here, and a 10 here, kind of a jumbled mess. Now, sometimes things are going to change from block to block, but remember, as long as you do the same on the top and the bottom, you're going to be just fine. So let's look at 4 to 8 and figure out what we need to do to get from 4 to 8. We are going to times 2. What you do on the bottom, we do on the top. So 2 times 2 is 4. Now our first block is filled in. We're going to go back to that original number, 2. Since we have the top number, 2 times what is 6? 3. What we do on the top, we do on the bottom. So 4 times 3 is, right, 12. Now, we have 10 up here, so we can go 2 times what is 10? 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. So we keep reverting back to those original numbers, and that's what helps us to find the rest of the missing parts on the table. All right, let's try the next one down. This one, it gives us, that was nice of them, we got 5 times what is 10? Right, 2. 5 times what is 25? 5. And 5 times what is 30? 6. So what we do on the bottom, we have to do on the top. So this one's times 2. This one is times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. And it gives us the rest. We just need to make sure that they match up and it's correct. Is 8 times 5 40? Yes. Is 8 times 6 48? Yes. So that table is done and correct. All right. Now the next one, they give us 3, 9, 21, 27, and the bottom is blank. So this one, we're going to have to kind of work backwards. I'm going to be erasing this up here in just a second. So go ahead and stop if you need to stop and pause to make sure you have these notes written down and the numbers filled in so you understand how this is working before we move on. All right, moving on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So now we've got 3 to 9. What are we going to do to get there? Right? Times 3. We got 3 to 27. I'm sorry, 21. So 3 times what is 21? Right, 7. And 3 times what is 27? I don't like that X. Times 9. So now, if we want to figure out the answer, we can actually figure this out by doing what? Let's think about this. How would we figure this one out? Well, we know we have to get times 3 and times 7 and times 9, right? So times 3 for this one, times 7 for this one, times 9 for this one. And we know this one has to be 36. So we can ask ourselves, what times 9 is 36? What times 9 is 36? If you count by 9s, 9, 18, 27, 36. 9 times 4 is 36. So that helped us figure that one out. Now that we've got 4 figured out, okay, and again, I just asked myself, since I knew this was times 9, I knew this had to be times 9. So then I just say, what times 9 is 36? So now we got 4. Now we can fill in the rest. This one's times 3. That one's got to be times 3. 4 times 3. 12. This one's times 7, so this one's got to be times 7. 4 times 7. 28. That's right. All right. That one was a little bit tricky because it kind of makes you think a little bit differently. And some of these are going to be like that. Let's try number 7. I know I'm working against, I'm going 1, 3, 5, 7, but it's just easier to work down the column. All right, we've got 15, 30, blank, blank, 11, blank, 33, 43. Now, this looks like 44, 33. What could go here? You're right, it could be 22. But let's check and make sure. So 15 times what is 30? Times 2. What do you do on the bottom? We do on the top. Is 11 times 2 22? Sure. So now we can finish the rest because we know this is times 2. This one, 33, has got to be times 3 and times 4. So now we just fill in the rest. 15, we got to do times 3 because that's what's on the top, times 3. So 15, 30, 30 plus 15. Good, 45. And one more 15, because 15, this one's got to be times 4. 45 and 15. 60. And you're done. All right? If you're finding this to be a little bit frustrating, try not to let it get to you yet. It does take a lot of practice to figure these out. Some of them are pretty tricky. Okay? So don't be discouraged if you're like, I'm not getting this, because you will. Biggest thing to remember is do the same on the top as you do on the bottom. All right, this one's really easy to get mixed up because it just goes up by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it makes you think you would go 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But that is not the case. Because how do we get to 2? You can't just add. You got to multiply or divide. So 1 times 2 is 2, right? 1 times 3 is 3. And 1 times what is 4? Right, times 4. So now we have to do the same on the bottom. 2 times 2. We did 2 times 2 on the top. It's got to be on the bottom. Now we can do times 3. Times 3 on the top means times 3 on the bottom. 2 times 3. Good, 6. And times 4 means times 4 down here. 2 times 4. 8. Don't let this going up by 1 confuse you. Make sure that you're thinking multiplying and dividing for these. It's got to be multiplying and dividing. You cannot add. All right? Okay. Let's go back to the top. Let's try these back to the top. We've got 7, 14, 21, 28. Sounds like they're counting by 7s. So remember, we got to multiply times 2 to get 14, right? Times 3, 7 times 3 to get 21, and times 4 to get 28. The problem is, they didn't give us anything on the top except a 3 in the middle. So, if it's times 3 here, it's got to be what on the top? That's right, times 3. So what times 3 is 3? 1. So this has to be 1. So if this is times 2, this is times 2. What's 1 times 2? Good. And times 4 on the bottom means times 4 on the top. 1 times 4 is 4. All right. I'm going to try and let you do the rest of these on your own. I know that they're difficult, but this one should be pretty easy. What times 2 is 6? What times 2 is 8? What times 2 is 10? This one, 6 times what is 12? Okay? Think about how you can get there. I want you to try the rest of these on your own. If you get real stuck or you are just lost, please let me know, and I'm here to help you in any way I can. All right? Have a great day. Make great choices. Do great things.